What is going on, YouTube? This is Josh, aka the Card Doctor here. Starting a brand new series. Been getting into a lot of speculation, prospecting, and for the upcoming season and for next season as well. So I'm planning for every Monday or every Tuesday when I upload, just to go over two or three pickups that I get, or just a couple of prospects that I'm very interested in for the next season, even for this season. So for today, we have two prospects and one veteran, one who is closer, I think, than the other, and a veteran who has an intriguing profile to him, and it's more of a long-term investment and perhaps a flip in the future. But the first, the first guy I want to talk about is Mr. Marco Luciano. Now, Marco Luciano, he is he is a big prospect. He's in the baseball top 100, the MLB's top 100 prospects list. Number one in the Giants organization, and for the most part, he has exceeded expectations for his age. The kid is only 19, I believe, and at the age of 17, he put up two really spectacular seasons in his time in rookie ball. Now, with Marco, the thing that has kind of devalued his cards a little bit is the fact that he has a lot of growth to go. For one, he has shown that he can handle rookie ball quite well. In two separate stints, he's hit well over 300, and I mean, like, he had an number, insane numbers when he was there. But the minute that he went to, he's gone to higher levels of pitching, such as in low A ball. He regressed. In 2019, he got promoted to the Northwest League. And even though he only had 9 games, it was still pretty disappointing. He had a 212 batting average, 316 on base percentage, and a 649 OPS, which is a far cry from the numbers he was putting up in rookie ball. And then again in spring training, he was quite overmatched as well. He had 18 strikeouts and 28 at bats. But that's the other thing with Marco as well. That's kind of a concern, is that even though he has a tremendous room for growth and he has tremendous upside, the strikeouts are a big part of his game. And I mean, even in rookie ball, he was striking out at least around 25 to 26% of the time. So some things that I feel that he could improve on. One is to cut down on the strikeouts, and two, show that he can handle higher levels of pitching, both at the major league level, but more importantly right now for him at the minor league level. So in terms of his card values right now are they're pretty high, I would say, considerably still. Let's kick the tripod right there. Marco, again, because he put up such insane numbers his rookie year in rookie ball, prices were getting up to like 30, 35 for a Bowman Chrome first. Now they've dropped all the way down to the $20 to $25 range, which is honestly pretty okay. But yeah, this upcoming season will be a big season for Marco. I personally am skeptical in terms of a possible regression with him. I'm personally waiting for him to perhaps get off to a slow start and then start heating up and kind of catching his cards when they kind of go down more, when the market kind of forgets about him a little bit more. But I definitely do think because of his age, I mean, like I said, he's only 17, 17 to 19 years old. So I mean, there's tremendous room for growth. So if he can show that he can handle the pitching this year, his cards are definitely going to go spike up again, and he could he could very well be a superstar at the next level. But again, a lot rides for Marco on this year and how he performs in real games at higher levels of minor league pitching. The next guy I wanted to talk about is one of my favorite prospects, Mr. Noelvi Marte. Now, Noelvi Marte has only had one season and not a really big sample size. He played in the Dominican Summer League. He had 65 games, 299 plate appearances, 55 strikeouts, a 309 batting average, 371 on base percentage, and a 511 slugging, which is insane. And then he also had 9 home runs, 54 RBIs, and 17 stolen bases. And those are really good numbers. I mean, in 65 games, like he was averaging almost an RBI like per game. And I mean, the I think for Marte, what's holding his cards back is the fact that it was only 65 games, and again, like Marco, he was playing in the Dominican Summer League, which is significantly the pitching is not as good as low A to high A. He just, as of today, he just got assigned to low A ball. So for Marte, it'll be interesting. He's still a young guy, so there's still a lot of potential for him. He definitely has the tools and he definitely has the capabilities, but I think there's a lot of stock that's dependent on how good he can handle the pitching, like I mentioned, and yeah, to validate if these stats are for real. He did have an encouraging at the Mariners development camp per Ryan Deshono and on Sojo Mojo, and also Kelly Munro from the Mariners Instructional League team. He did have 54 at-bats, a 259 batting average, 1 double, 1 home run, 5 walks, and an average exit velocity of 93.08 miles per hour, which is pretty impressive. And he had the lead for the second most hits on the team, despite being tied for third in most at-bats. So the efficiency is definitely there, and he showed the tools. And I am really impressed. So I got this Mojo refractor at a pretty good deal. I thought it was $27. Market price is going, I think it'll drop below that, but for where I think this guy is going to be at the end of the year, I think that it's kind of a steal, to be honest. The two things I think that are holding back him from unlocking his potential, well, one for him as a player, but also two for his card prices, is that one, in terms of the only critique I would have of his overall skills, or two things I would have in his overall skill set right now. One is the strikeouts. He did have a 18% strikeout rate in the Dominican Summer League, and he also showed quite a number of strikeouts, according to those reports by Kelly Monroe and also Ryota Nishono in the Mariners Instructional League team. So there is a strikeout potential there. So if he could lower that a little bit, that'd be good. Defensively, I haven't also heard too many things about him either. He does play shortstop, which for card collecting is a premium position. But I've also heard some things that it's unsure in the future if he can handle shortstop in the future, because his offense is more of his calling card, at least in his career right now. So those two things we'll have to wait and see. His ability to cut down on strikeouts and be even more efficient at the plate. and 2, if he can handle shortstop defensively. Now, in terms of his card prices, I believe those two reasons are why people are, and the other reason that he hasn't handled higher pitching yet. But the third reason is also because he's overshadowed, I believe, by Julio Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez, if you don't know, is the number 2 overall prospect behind Jared Kelenic. I'm in the Mariners' top 30. I believe number 2 or 3 on the baseball top 100 list for MLB in total. So when Julio Rodriguez, he's set to be called up next year. Right now, Noelvi Marte, he's about 2 years, I would say, from being called up at the earliest. So when Julio leaves, that will leave Noelvi Marte, I believe, as the number 1 or at least the number 2 overall prospect going into next year if he performs to expectations this year. So I'm looking for, once he hits like that number 1, number 2, and once he climbs higher, he's currently like number, I believe 99 or like 97 on the top 100. So I can easily see him, just with all the tools that he has, just climbing up really quickly through the rankings. And at that point, his card prices, I think, could potentially equal Julio Rodriguez's. Maybe not. I'm expecting them to be a bit lower, but I think they might get pretty darn close if he can perform this year and also next year. But yeah, kind of a speculative buy. Just taking advantage of his cards being cheap right now. And he's also one of my favorite prospects, so don't mind shelling out a little bit of money to get this card. All right, the third one is a veteran. It is a PSA 10 Gleyber Torres Topps Heritage. This is actually the first slab I've ever bought, partly because slabs are really expensive and I just don't have money to shell out a ton of money on really expensive slabs that are like going for like $100 or even higher. But this one I got for around $39, which now looking at eBay listings, it's actually gotten lower. So I'm a bit sad that I maybe didn't wait too long, but still $39 for, I think this card is not a bad deal. Now, when it comes to Gleyber, the trend right now has been for people to more pursue the Topps Chrome update, as people are finally seeing, I think, that the update Chrome set is a lower print run, so there's more scarcity, and also it's the Chrome stock, like that's just the darling of the hobby, right? But I think something interesting I found when I was looking at the pops was that when you look at Chrome, and there are 386 PSA 9s, and there are 3,226 10s. So that's a pretty high ratio of PSA 10s, and honestly, like that's a pretty great ratio of getting a 10. Just it shows how easier the chromes are to grade. So that's an 88% graded average. And I don't have the numbers for the update, the print run on the update, but I'm imagining that the chrome is 3,226. Like that's not a big as big of a pop report as I'm imagining that the update's probably somewhere in like the double that, like 6,000 or 7,000 or something like that. Now, but when we look at Heritage, what I found interesting was that comparatively, there are 1,259 PSA 9s, but there are 8,224 PSA 10s. But yet, roughly the same amount of grades in total to the Chrome, so 3,155 grades in total. So that leaves a 476 difference, which is honestly pretty small. But it's interesting that there is a 50% graded average for 10s versus an 88% of graded 10s for the Chrome. So you could argue that the Heritage actually has a lower pop report and is actually more rare than the Chrome, at least in the PSA 10 version. And it shows that it's obviously tougher to grade Heritage than Chrome, just given its 50% PSA 10 rate. So that I thought that was interesting too. Just there's an argument for scarcity and an argument that this card could go up in the future. I think also the reason it's lower significantly, I mean, it's half the price of a Chrome, is because, I mean, Chrome is just more prettier, and like Heritage is already like the number three thing, number three ranking to Topps Chrome and Topps Update. But regardless, I thought that was an interesting fact. So that, I don't know if anybody realizes that, but that's it helps numb the pain of buying this perhaps at too high of a price. But yeah, that's the first episode of my speculative series or investment series. So yeah, let me leave a note. Let me know if you have any thoughts or yeah, just other things that you want to you have in mind also with Noelvi Marte, Marco, or Glaber in the future. And yeah, just what your thoughts are on that, the difference in pop reports, and things like that. But yeah, looking forward to the next one. Have a lot of good stuff coming up. See you next time, guys.